Hello everybody, my name is Ben Puzwali and I'm Director of Technical Sales at KineticD. Today we are going to go through a high-level sales demo of our KineticCloud for Servers online backup product. KineticCloud for Servers is a backup client that we created and optimized for servers. It hosts many features including seamless backup of open files, folders, MS Exchange, and MS SQL. We've also built in agentless backup capabilities, which allows you to back up your entire network from one backup console. We've also included hybrid backup capabilities, which means that you can also keep local backup copies of your data for fast restore in the case of a disaster. With this being said, let's get started. Now let's start with a real case scenario. You have a user that just lost his Exchange 2010 mailbox and you need it recovered. Luckily for you, you used KineticCloud to keep up-to-date backups of these mailboxes. To simulate this, I will open up my empty Outlook webmail. KineticCloud makes your restores easy and seamless. We first open up the backup client and click Restore. We select the first option, which will restore directly from our data centers. Also, please make note that we can restore locally as well from the same screen. After clicking Next, we confirm our host settings and click Next. We now choose the machine where the backup took place. In this case, it's called Demo. After expanding it, we see the backup job called Exchange Brick Level Backup Daily. I select the generation by date and time that I want to restore, and I click Next. After confirming the Exchange server settings, I click Next and the software will populate all the data that is available for restore. By drilling down using the plus sign, I can see all this data, including the mailboxes that I want to restore. I will now select it all. By clicking Finish, the software will automatically restore all the data and merge it directly back into Exchange. Once complete, we can reopen my webmail and see that my messages have been recovered. Now that the software has recovered all my files, we can go back to webmail and view all my recovered files. Let's now move on to creating a backup of some files and folders. The first step in creating a backup job is clicking the Create a Backup Set button. Remember to give the backup set a unique but descriptive name so it's easier for you to manage. In this case, I'm going to call it Server 2008 File Backup. Also note that you can set up SQL and Exchange backup jobs by toggling through these radio buttons. After clicking Next, we can do a few different things. Let's first focus on the local machine. By using the plus sign to expand the local computer, we're able to select any file or folder that we wish to protect. In this case, let's select to back up the program files. We also want to back up the program data folder, but we know that users have been storing personal video files in this folder that we don't want to back up. To address this issue, we can use a template. A template can be used to back up or exclude by file type at the computer, folder, or subfolder level. The first step of adding a template to exclude video files is to select the folder that we wish to apply the template to. After selecting the folder, we will click Backup all files except those matching template. This opens up a list of predefined templates. Please feel free to add your own or modify existing ones. I will select the movie template, which includes file extensions such as .mov and .wmv. Once complete, click Add Selected. We now see that the program data folder is set to exclude movie files. If we wanted to do the reverse and only backup movie files, we would select the option called Backup Files Matching Template Only. Another feature included in the backup client is the ability to use plugins. A plugin performs specific backup functions with a click of a button. In my case, I have the Profile and Settings and System State Active Directory plugin. By clicking this plugin, the backup client will automatically back up the system state and Active Directory of this machine. The best part about both templates and plugins is that they can both be used on agentless machines as well. We'll get into this right now. Agentless backup technology allows you to back up your entire network through one backup console. The backup client will automatically pick up all machines that Windows Networking can see and display them for you under Microsoft Windows Network. In this case, I've manually added computers. By double-clicking on the machine, you'll be prompted for the administrative username and password. Once authenticated, you'll be able to choose any folder or file to back up. You will also be allowed to apply templates or plugins on that machine as well. Remember, this is all done without having to go to the physical machine and install any software. Agentless technology also allows you to back up Linux, Mac, and other operating systems using the network. Once we complete our backup selection, we click Next. This screen allows us to choose the destination of where we want to store our backups. Please remember that all data is compressed, deduplicated, and encrypted with bank-grade encryption before it even leaves your computer. We now have four options. We can store the data directly in the KineticD data centers. This option keeps you safe by keeping your data in a safe offsite location. We can also create a large initial backup to USB. This will then be physically shipped to the KineticD data center team for import. This option is popular for initial seeds, as it avoids having to wait for your initial backups to be transmitted over the internet. Thirdly, we can keep a matching local and remote copy. This hybrid approach protects you in the case of catastrophic disaster by keeping data offsite, but also allows you to restore quickly from your local machine or network if needed. And finally, we can set the software to keep a local copy only. This option won't write data offsite and will only keep local copies. Once we make our selection, we click Next. We can now set our compression level and whether or not to back up the ACLs for files. Once complete, we click Next. We are now on the notification screen. The most popular option here is the ability to set up email reports. By clicking Add, we are able to fill in our SMTP information and choose whether to get emails on backup jobs that were successful, had warnings, or ended in error. Once complete, we click Next. We are now at the last step of the backup job creation. On this screen, we can add one or more schedules to this backup job. This allows you to comply to data retention policies set within your own organization. For example, from this screen we could set up the job to keep 14 daily generations and 12 monthly generations without having to set up two different jobs. Let's go ahead and create that daily backup job. We click Add. From here we'd select the schedule's frequency. In this case it's daily. We can set the start time, the effective date, and how many backup generations to keep. So in this case it's 14. You could also set to automatically span a backup. So if it were to run over 8 hours, the job would automatically stop. We would then authenticate the schedule with an administrative username and password and click OK. The software will now have created this daily backup job. We now want to set up the secondary monthly backup job. We click Add again. We select the schedule's frequency, which in this case is monthly. We set the effective date and the time, and as I mentioned before, we want to keep 12 generations or 12 months of this backup job. Once we've reviewed all the other settings, we can click OK, and now we'll have 2 backup job schedules. Once complete, we click Finish, and we're all set. This concludes our KineticCloud for Servers sales demo. If you have any questions at all, please visit us at www.kineticd.com, email us at sales@kineticd.com, or give us a call 1-866-430-2406. Thank you again.